What's up, guys? Connor Ferguson here. Did I just jump the gun on the live button? I absolutely did. All right, you guys missed the what's up, guys. Sorry about that. Connor Ferguson, Glen, Saville, always race day, post-race show for night 4 of the Chili Bowl Nationals, and what a damn good one it was. We're going to get into everything here. First, want to thank Chris Weiser and the Weiser companies for hopping on board during the Knoxville Nationals. Made our biggest 10 days of the year just a little bit bigger. I got to do my we have too many devoted fans that I have to text them the link when we start because they've asked for it. And I'm a pushover and I'll just say yes to people because I like you. So appreciate everyone that's tuned in all week, everyone that's said kind words. We've gotten a couple of compliments. I haven't sent them to you, Glenn, yet. I should have. But
thank you.
people are enjoying it. So we'll play the theme song. We'll get this thing rolling and figure out how we can break down this race. All right, man. So, Glenn, we got on here and we always just talk before we go live and everything. Glenn had eventful night, it sounds like.
I've had a great night. So, no, I was
drive a little bit away.
Yeah. So, just at the start of the qualifiers there, my next door neighbor called me up and said, "Hey, are you doing anything?" I said, "Well, I'm kind of doing my research for this, and I'm in my assembly room at the moment. This is what this is, and I'm assembling a motor at night while I watch the race." And he called me up. He said, "Well, my daughter got knocked out at a wrestling match tonight. Can you can you give me a hand to go collect her car from the schoolyard?" So that was basically how I got to view the qualifiers from the passenger seat of my next door neighbor's vehicle while we drove to the schoolyard and back. And that was basically that wiped out the qualifiers and part of the B mains because it's not a 5-mile trip. So yeah, so I do apologize once again. I've got no notes, but I guess I am consistent. So we've done every night so far.
All I've heard all week is how extensive your notebook is.
Oh, it's you know what? If I could compare my notebook to Sammy Swindell's notebook at the Chili Bowl, I reckon I'd be about on par for the total opposite direction.
Jojo says, "How did you talk Glenn into putting up with you so much in 1 week?" I don't know. He does it more than anybody else does in the world, so I appreciate him for that. But yeah,
I'm a tolerant person. It's community service. I'm a tolerant person. It's community service.
Something like that. The one thing you did miss from the qualifiers, and we'll get into the whole race. Leave us your questions, your comments, what you guys had to have to say, and we'll put them on here and read them. But Spencer Baston won that qualifier that he was in by 5.2 seconds. I'm not sure if I've seen a margin of victory that big at the Chili Bowl.
That's on a good night. That's just over half a lap. So yeah, that's a long way. That was a really good effort. He drove well, but I feel like tonight was kind of back to what we all expect out of the Chili Bowl. You know, there was plenty of crashes, there was plenty of action. Everybody was really starting to crash into each other. Like I think up until tonight, there were like 20 odd crashes for the whole week, and then tonight it was like 12 or 14 or 15 or something like that. So I think it was back to the Chili Bowl we know.
Yeah, I got up to like 13 on the flips, and I don't love the flip count. I know it's not popular in dirt racing to trash on the flip count. I think it's a dumb look, but there's dumber things at the Chili Bowl anyway.
Yeah,
and that's like the fight we had on here yesterday. Like, it just looks really stupid. That's what I'm referring to when I say dumber things that they do. They don't do it. It's not in their hands. But yeah, the amount of flips we had tonight, and still like we're on the air at 9:40. I mean, that's a efficient program.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They definitely get them in and get them out. It's considering they had 2 D mains, so they had a lot of cars in the building tonight, and they got through it pretty quick. It was good. It was an efficient night.
I was laughing at JoJo's comment here, but Christopher Bell ends up winning the race, locking it in from 8th, and we'll get to CJ Leary. He locked in as well, but the technical drive that he had Just in those final, 15, 10 laps, and obviously the first 23 went straight green. For him to make the adjustments he did, because it was looking like for a bit, I was like, Christopher Bell's not going to be locking into the main event. That's insane to think about with how much speed he has every time he goes there. And sure enough, here he comes and just drives perfect laps the last 8 laps, 8 times around the track. And I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, I think that last caution, it upset everyone. Like it sort of broke everyone's rhythm, really. Like you look at Ryan Burnell's lap, and even listening to him in his post-race interview, he's obviously upset, and he said, he put together 5 of the worst laps. But I think between all of that and Bell obviously was able to put him, get his brain right and make the right adjustments to where he could move forward. And I think, that last caution really changed the outcome of the race in that sense. So it was good.
Man,
it was really technical.
I feel so much for Ryan Bernal.
Yeah, he's been a villain. He's been a hero in that building. He's you make your own luck in those sorts of situations, and obviously it didn't work this time for him. So,
Yeah, no, on the direct opposite of that spectrum, Alex Bowman Racing locks in a second car. Only brought 2 cars this year. Crap goes wrong every time they come to the Chili Bowl, it seems. You remember they had the T-shirts with the duct tape on it that said "Bent but okay," next to a couple other ones. I forgot what parts of the car were sitting by his pit, but they were all labeled, and like some of the duct tape just said "Wrecked, don't use," and shit like that. So to see those guys lock in too is pretty crazy. I didn't have that on my bingo card coming into this week, and really impressed with what CJ Leary was able to do there, because he's not. I don't want to say he's not the most aggressive guy. He's plenty aggressive, but I didn't think it would fall into his lap as well as it did, and he took advantage of it perfectly.
Well, it goes back to that caution. He was able to stop and reset and sort of get his, change his focus a little bit on the race, I think, and that caution it really changed the outcome of the whole race, I thought. So, just one of those things.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you there. That just wanted to reload. I could do a better job at transitioning here because I didn't need this to do it. But Ryan Bernal, 3rd place finisher. Behind him, Spencer Baston, Kyle Cummins, Tanner Thorson, Chris Wyndham, and Carter Sarf. Those guys will head to B-Mains on Saturday. What do you think of the NOS Brigade racing side by side there for a little bit?
There's plenty of them, that's for sure. It's cool to see NOS putting in that much support, but there's going to be some NOS on NOS violence there for a little while if they didn't separate.
Are you surprised at all with Tanner Thorson? 6th isn't bad. Just like we were talking about Ryan Bernal, 3rd isn't bad. They're going to be in B-Mains where the top 7 cars in each race transfer. They're going to have just as much of a shot as anybody to qualify for this race. But are you surprised seeing Tanner Thorson back in P6 on a prelim night?
Not really. Every time he's been on TV, he's been complaining about something all week. So, either go home and do your homework and make it faster, or put up. Well, he's obviously not the sort of guy to give up and quit. But I think he said at the start of the week that was a new car. He's probably just trying to get a hold of it and just hasn't got it quite worked out. So. Maybe he's become too much of a wing sprint car guy. Who knows?
Yeah, if you guys forget, and I'll always do this watching races. I don't know if it's something I've had too many concussions or what, but I'll be watching the Chili Bowl and see Tanner Thorson do something cool, and my gosh, I forgot how much better he got in sprint car racing from end of May, early June to November.
Yeah. Yep. He's definitely always been a great driver. It's like I said. I think he said at the start of the week he was on a new car, so it's just he's just got to do his homework. That's all it is. He knows that, so that's and working with the coil car too it's a little bit different. I know myself. I've run my car's a coil car, so you've got to think differently. You can't just do what everybody else does, and little things make a big difference, but not like they do with a 4-bar car or a coil and torsion bar car, like a lot of the guys have got for a combination. So it's yeah, he's just working on it, I guess. So just part of it.
Do you think he'll go back to a closed trailer next year?
I don't know, but his deal isn't as cool as mine. So I don't care what you say. Like everybody's talking about how cool that thing is. Well, I've been on the back of an open truck for a couple of seasons now. So
it gets up and down the road sometimes.
That's right. Yeah, most of the time.
Speaking of a feel good story like that for a smaller name, Jacob Hughes, Knoxville guy, good buddy of mine. First he won a heat race, and he gets on the mic and he's like, I don't think many people here expected me to win a heat race. I don't think many people here think I belong out here. And then he transfers in from a B main to walk into the A. I was tickled pink when I saw that.
Yeah, he drove really well. I got to watch that, and he did a really good job. And then, on the flip side of it for Knoxville guys, Alex Vandervoort had horrible luck all night. Just chili bowl. That's all you can say. Goes out and absolutely yard sales the thing in the heat race, which was cool that they were able to get it back together for the D, but then just wrong place, wrong time, and wipes her out again. So just, you kind of highs and lows and swings and roundabouts for the chili bowl and how everyone's luck comes and goes and goes from there. So yeah, just good for Jacob and terrible for Alex. So just a bad deal.
Yeah, no, that was a gnarly wreck, and for him to get back out there and do everything. I know they're safe cars, but you're through a wreck, you're at a young age, and to just go back out and start again, like always.
I've had enough wrecks like that. They hurt. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how fast you're going.
What other takeaways did you have from tonight? We've gotten through most of my big points, at least.
I don't know. The track's still kind of narrow. Like in turn 1 and 2, they were having to get up above the cushion and then drive back across it. That kind of, I guess it sort of bodes well for Saturday. At least there's plenty of moisture up there, but hopefully it doesn't sort of stay that narrow. It gets a little bit closer to the fence to make it a bit wider for them. But track was kind of narrow for a long time tonight. That's what I thought. That was probably my biggest takeaway. I think the points showed it. There was not a lot of guys sort of had big points runs or anything like that. People were sort of passing, but not monster passing until the main. So yeah.
What does it take to get that track wider?
A week's worth of notes. That's the thing with the dirt, and I touched on this the other night. It's laid on top of concrete, so the water goes through the dirt and then it stops. But during that sort of period where it goes down into the concrete, hits the concrete, because concrete doesn't absorb water. So the water, you got to wait for that to drain before you can throw more water into it. But on top of that, you haven't got the sun beating down on it. You haven't got the wind blowing across it or anything like that. So it's one of those things that, especially when they ship the dirt in and out every year, if you have a summer that's, or a year that's very, very wet, a lot of rain, a lot of snow, or that sort of thing, or you have a year that's very, very dry, it changes the way the dirt reacts every time they put it in the building. So, I think that's kind of the cool part about the shootout, is they get to at least figure out sort of what the dirt does. And then now that this week's on, they've kind of thrown a few different things at it every night, I think. And tonight was probably a little bit closer to last night compared to what last night was to the night before. But yeah, it seems to me like it's different dirt every year, but it's not. It's the same dirt. It's had a year's worth of weather put into it, essentially. So yeah, I don't know. It like I said, it takes a week's worth of notes to figure it out, and you just got to hope that you get it right for Saturday.
Yeah, if they had the answer, we'd see it happening.
Oh yeah,
right?
We'd have the same track every night. Yeah, yep.
I got 2 more things on here. we'll go positive first. The other one's negative, I guess, kind of. But Caleb Henry, just to get into the A main and save that bicycle he had coming out of 3 and 4, a lap after he had bicycled down the backstretch, was.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen anyone do that in that building.
Yeah. Pretty good deal.
And that kid, California native, obviously impressed last year out there. I think we'd lost Glen. That's why I started talking. But super. No, you're good.
I'm here.
You're here in audio only form. You're speaking
hang on.
amongst us.
There we go. Got you back.
There we go.
Me and technology. Wonderful. Is that better?
We've been good. We've been solid. Your accent makes up for it too.
Is that what it is? Great.
All our female fans are raving about it.
What's that?
So all our female fans are raving about it.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm sure they're slipping off their seats. Excellent.
All 3 or 4 of them. So.
Yeah, that's right.
But did you have anything to say about Caleb Henry? That kid's a wheelman. I love watching him drive.
Yeah. I did. Like I said, I kind of missed a good portion of the night.
Oh,
but
yeah, you probably didn't see that one. Okay, well, just imagine it was pretty gnarly.
Yeah. I don't know, anyone that gets up on the bike like that, by the sounds of it, yeah, it's pretty good. But no, he's a gasser. He's what was he, All-Star Circuit of Champions champion this year from memory, or 2025. So yeah, guy's definitely a gasser. So ran against him in Saville last year. He was good.
And then no KKM cars locked into Saturday yet. Are you surprised?
Not yet. Not really. When you've got as many good teams as there are in that building, and like Keith's cars are the best of the best, but Keith's deal is also part of the Toyota development deal. So you've got guys that, Cannon McIntosh, he's still pretty good, but you've got guys that they're either getting in a midget once a year or they're still on that learning curve through the Toyota chain. So I think that's more just a testament to how intense the competition is in that building, like how many good cars there are now. You look at most of the guys have either got Toyotas or SR11s, and they've all got lightweight stuff, and they've all got the best shocks, the best money can buy, and yeah, it's a tough race. It really is. So
yeah,
I think that's what it is.
You're absolutely right. I think that's going to do it for us. I can't wait to see what they've got in store Friday. I think we said it yesterday on here. It's gotten better every night. So if it keeps going at the pace it's going, and I have confidence in this crew, that the track prep crew and the event, everybody down there, that Saturday is going to be a pretty, I can't say pretty big banger, can I? That's kind of an oxymoron.
It's your podcast, man. You can say what you want.
You're not the slang guy to ask.
I'm definitely not for American slang. It's 6'7". I don't know.
If it keeps going, it's going to be a fun one on Saturday. So thank you guys. Appreciate you, JoJo. Thanks for being such a big fan. Hope everybody enjoyed the racing tonight. We'll be back right here after tomorrow, after Friday night. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you.